Good morning, Team Flynn. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me on the income stream. I believe it's day 137 or 8. I don't even know. So many of these, and I'm so thankful you're here because I'm here to help you. And today we're talking about lead magnets, incentives to have people subscribe to our list so that we can better connect with them, so that we can better serve them and potentially generate an income. So today we're going to be talking about a number of different kinds of lead magnets broken down into 3 different tiers: easy, medium, difficult as far as creation, effective, more effective, most effective in terms of effectiveness. Anyway, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. Stick around. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching the replay, hashtag team replay in the comment section. If you're here live, say hello to your friends here. And thanks and welcome in. Let's enjoy the show.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. Oh, while we keep it clean, this is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Welcome in, everybody. I need to give a big shout out to those who have already joined Team Flynn officially as a brand new member of the channel. This is brand new, and the reason why we opened up memberships here on the YouTube channel really quick, just for like 1 minute before we get into today's content, is because so many of you have been so generous with donating super chats to the charities that we've been donating to every single month, and I haven't been giving you anything in return. And I figured the memberships, again, not required. I'm never gonna have, at least in the current state, or at least for this, member only chat. It'll simply be a way for me to give back to you if you want to donate, and it allows you to open up some emojis and some really fun member-only perks and some things like that. I will be offering some member-only community posts, as well as 1 or 2 perhaps community and member-only videos. But other than that, the income stream will remain the same. All you'll see is some people here with green or some highlighted avatar and their name, as well as some interesting emojis that only members will get access to. So thank you all. I appreciate you. Big shout out to Grandma Goody, Marla, Rhino Dog, K-Walk, Karen, Opticom, Karen, April, and Michael so far, who has signed up as a member. So I think that's kind of dope. And Rafal, welcome to Team Gold. Appreciate you. This is so cool. And thanks for supporting the channel. So today we are going to be talking about lead magnets. Lead magnets are things that you can create to incentivize people to subscribe to your email list. Now, if you've seen any of the weekend website reviews that we've done here on the channel, you noticed that one of the most common problems or issues that a lot of entrepreneurs have is related to getting people to subscribe to their email list. And oftentimes we see simply a box on a web page, which is great. You're collecting email addresses, or at least you're attempting to, and you have that up there. However, it's simply a way for people to subscribe to the email list. And really that's it, right? There's no other. Solar Gravity, welcome to Team Platinum. Thanks for being here. There's no other incentive other than exclusive tips or getting blog posts early or join the community, and that's really it. And that's not going to be enough. We need to consider a person's email address similar to a person's credit card number. We cannot just expect this person just to kind of give us their email address. Like when we put up a sales page, it takes some work. You need to work for that subscriber. And a great way to incentivize a person to subscribe to your list, other than, hey, subscribe to the list to get more emails, because I don't know about you, but I don't wake up in the morning saying, I look forward to getting more emails. I look forward to getting things that actually help me. And that's what we want to create. And like I said, I'm going to be dividing this into 3 different tiers. A simple and effective way to provide a lead magnet to your audience, a little bit more difficult of a way, a medium way, but more effective, and then finally some really high-level campaign-like things that you can do as a lead magnet to bring people onto your email list as well. And what do we do with people on this email list? What's the ultimate goal here? Well, it's not just to build an email list. I really want to paint a picture up front that this isn't about vanity numbers, just so that you could say you have 1,000 email subscribers, just so you can say, so you have all these people on your list. No, you have human beings now who you are directly connected with, such that you are able to better provide service to them. Because, as I often say, your earnings are a byproduct of how well you serve your audience, and your email list becomes a direct connection. It's, in fact, one of the only places left online that we actually have control over, versus a lot of us building businesses and brands and followings and fans on certain platforms that now have blocked our access to them, or have now algorithms that you have to either master or pay to play to get access to, right? Versus your email list, which is something that you still have access and control over. Now, of course, there are still things we're fighting up against, right? We're still fighting against the other people who are sending them emails. So your email subject lines and how you sort of set that expectation up front as far as when people finally receive your emails is absolutely key. But we need to understand that the lead magnet can provide that expectation for us. If you can provide something that a person gets immediately, as soon as they make that not purchase, but subscription, then you can set that expectation. They're going to be more likely to potentially grab that lead magnet, as well as take further action with you. Save Like a Bear, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Very cool. Yes, I changed a little bit of the lighting today, which is really interesting. I moved a light that was to my right, 45 degrees, over to a little bit more to my right behind me, which adds a nice little, I don't know if you can see this light on my shoulder. That was not there before. This, as I'm learning more about lighting, helps me stand out from the background a little bit more. So kudos to you for noticing that. All right. So let me just go here. Jamin, welcome to Team Flynn Gold. I appreciate you. Let's see. Just putting a user in timeout. Sometimes these young kids need a little bit of a timeout here and there. Okay, so let's talk about these lead magnets. So how this works is there's 3 things we want to make sure we do with this before we get into the specific types of lead magnets and some examples that I want to share with you. I know there's some people in here who are in fact exactly doing this kind of thinking right now. What should I create in order for me to incentivize people to subscribe to my list? 3 things that we need to do. When we do this, number 1, we have to show people what they're going to get. Whatever it is we create, even if it's a digital thing, we need to show people. On the weekend website reviews, we often see just a little box that just says subscribe here. And even if you have a lead magnet, it says you'll get my free guide or something. Well, people want to see visually what they're going to get before they get it. And even if it's a digital product, even if it's just a flat image, it's not even a 3D looking image, something that's visual that represents the lead magnet. If it's a checklist, then show a little thumbnail of a checklist. If it's a list of tools, show something that represents that. If it's a little email course, share a little bit about maybe what the results are like. Something visual that people can see, so that number 1, it captures their attention when they're on a web page, right? It'll stand out from the other components within that page. Number 2, it'll draw that eye to that part such that a person can read more and learn more about that. And number 3, it might even entice people because, again, people like to see what they're going to get before they get it, if that makes sense. Cool. So that's number 1. We need to show people the lead magnet. Number 2, very important, we need to sell the lead magnet. Not sell it like you're charging money, but sell it. You need to convince the person that this is something worth their email address and their time. So what's the transformation? What's the outcome? What's the actual thing that they're going to get that they can't get anywhere else? Why is it worth their time and email in order for them to subscribe to get to this thing? We have to sell it to them. And in fact, if you have to even include testimonials related to the lead magnet, yes, a testimonial for a free thing. Imagine person, they're on the fence, oh, I'm not sure if I should get this, and they see somebody just like them with the same objection or in the same area of life or struggling with the same thing. Go, oh my gosh, this free guide blew me away. It was everything I needed right now. It gave me everything I needed to know. Well, boom, you're going to be more likely to capture that subscriber, which is really great. So number 1, make it visual. Number 2, we need to sell it. We actually, in fact, have to work on it a little bit. Might there be a video, perhaps, that you can even pop up on a landing page? So let's talk about a landing page really quick. A landing page is a specific standalone page that then provides more information about this incentive and lead magnet and will do the job of a sales page, but just for the subscription, if that makes sense. So that's absolutely key and really important to do because you might need a little bit more time and information. Some people may subscribe just directly on a web page, name, email, a little bit of a visual there. You've convinced them with just a really good headline and exactly what they're going to get. Great. Some people, and this is handy if you, for example, are doing podcasts or YouTube videos, or you're a guest on another person's show, or do a guest post on another blog, you can simply link to the lead magnet. Because if you talk about the lead magnet elsewhere and you want people to subscribe to go get that lead magnet, bringing them back to the homepage is not going to be enough. Sometimes that requires a little bit of work, especially if it's sort of buried down a little bit, which is okay. If it's not the most important thing that you want people to do when they land on your homepage, then it's okay that it's below the fold. If it is the number one thing and most important thing that you want people to do, well, then above the fold can make sense too. Okay. So on the landing page, perhaps a video, something that shows people what they're going to get. If you treat your lead magnet that way, then you're going to get results that transpire, whatever word I'm supposed to say there. Then you're going to get the results that are comparable to how much time and effort you put into it, right? So, and then number 3, over time, start to create an experiment with different kinds of lead magnets. Some of your audience might love and get excited about this sort of, let's call it your focus lead magnet or your main one that you're going to be promoting up front. Malini, welcome to Team Flynn Platinum. Thank you so much for the support for the channel and for being here, all of you, whether you're a member or not. And again, not required to be a member. I'm never going to have this income stream be member only chat. I might do some live streams in the future, which might be member only, but it's never going to be the income stream. So don't worry, I'm not going to block that from you here. And there's some extra perks and some emojis and stuff like that too. Cool. Next, let's talk about the idea of creating multiple lead magnets. You're going to have that one main one likely that you start with that's going to be promoted everywhere, the end of your blog posts, for example, on your home page, in the sidebar perhaps, in different kinds of places. You have a lead magnet for it, and it's great. However, there's some people who are just not going to resonate with that, or that's not the most important thing for them. In fact, the better the lead magnet, oftentimes, the more niched down and focused it is, which means you're going to leave some people out. So creating different kinds of lead magnets might work. Plus, some people might not want if it is a PDF file, they might not want a PDF file. Maybe they're more interested in more visual aspects like videos or some charts of some kind. An infographic perhaps can be really great. That can be an option. And creating perhaps even the same lead magnet in different kinds of ways and sharing it in different places can make sense. So we're going to have to experiment. So we need to, number 1, we need to show people the lead magnet, whatever it is that we're creating. And I'm going to list a whole bunch that you could think about. We need to show them, right? We need to show people what it is that they're getting. Number 2, we need to sell it. We need to, in fact, put some work behind it to actually convince a person as if it was a product. But instead of actually asking for money, we're asking a person for their very precious and valuable email address. And number 3, experiment and try different kinds of lead magnets. You don't have to do all that up front, though. I would stick with one to start. And to start, I want to talk about my very first lead magnet that I created. It was called eBooks the Smart Way. Okay, so eBooks the Smart Way was created in January of 2010. In fact, even a year and a half after I started smartpassiveincome.com, I did not start building an email list until finally somebody convinced me that it was worth doing. And it made complete sense because you get to control that list. You get to take it elsewhere in case your website gets hacked, which my website did get hacked in 2015. And it gives you a direct connection to your audience when you're promoting something or trying to push them elsewhere, right? And for surveying, I mean, it just made sense. So I created a lead magnet called eBooks the Smart Way. And this book was related to what people knew me for. They knew me as somebody who created an ebook to help sell to the architecture industry to help people pass an exam. And so I decided to take this knowledge and package it into a PDF file. I wrote it up in Word, and I created a really interesting layout for it. I spent a little bit of time designing it, and it ended up being 30 pages, right? 30 pages, which was great, right? That I needed that many pages to share this information, and it actually worked, right? I ended up getting several dozen email subscribers within the first week, and of course that started to scale up. And even today, people are still downloading eBooks the Smart Way to help them write an ebook that back then, it wasn't really a play on Amazon. It was really just a way to write an ebook, and then you could do what you want with it, whether it's a lead magnet or put it on Amazon or sell it on your website. In fact, there was one person, Antonio Centeno from Real Men, Real Style, who ended up downloading that book, creating a lead magnet that then helped him generate 100,000 subscribers. He was in fact so thankful that he sent me this incredible video that would have cost thousands of dollars to get, based on what he does. He helps men learn how to dress and style themselves. And he was able to give a personalized video for me that was extremely helpful when I started speaking on stage. Anyway, that's the kind of value that a lead magnet should be providing, something that actually helps people in some way, right? It could be big or small, but this guide worked really well. And then starting around 2014, 2015, I started noticing drastic drops in the number of email subscribers that I was getting related to this book. Sean, thank you so much for joining Team Flynn. I appreciate you. Yes, I have a members YouTube area now. I mentioned it earlier. I'll talk about it throughout the chat here today, but don't worry. And it could definitely be something that I could see you doing too, Karma. So I'll talk more about it in a little bit. But we have some official members here now who unlocked certain emojis, and there's going to be some exclusive stuff too. And I figured it'd be a great way to just give back to those who are already giving in the super chats and donating to the different charities. By the way, this month, remember, polarisproject.org, helping to stop human trafficking. That's what we're donating to this month. Not required to donate. You don't have to pay anything to be here. It's all free. It's just, should you have the opportunity to donate or be a member, that's awesome. If not, no worries. I'm still going to be here for you. Thank you so much. Cool. So eBooks the Smart Way, I noticed, had an amazing drop in numbers around 2014, 2015, because there was a new trend happening. People did not want to download a 30-page book. People didn't want that, right? Think about it now. People, their time is valuable. And when we're telling people, hey, subscribe to my email list so you can read this 30-page guide, even if it's a very valuable guide. Karma, welcome to Team Flynn officially, my friend. I appreciate you. People didn't want to read 30 pages. There was this trend now for shorter, higher impact, but much quicker and more convenient lead pages, right? Or lead magnets. Simply Obs, thanks. Welcome to Team Flynn. This is so important to understand that our lead magnets, especially the ones that are a little bit easier to create and are just simply PDF files or things like that. Marion, welcome to Team Gold. Appreciate you. Shorter is better in many cases. Okay, shorter is better. So I started injecting different kinds of lead magnets, a podcast cheat sheet, something to help people with their podcasting really quick, literally just a checklist and cheat sheet. Those kinds of things have been working extremely well today. And I wanted to go over some quick and easy short things that you can do, because guess what? You have the ability to create a lead magnet right now, and it doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world. In fact, if it was extremely large or long or very in-depth, it might actually push people away. You can get into that in-depth stuff after people subscribe, but oftentimes it's a small, quick win or the small thing that's going to get people to subscribe. So this should hopefully, let me know, chat, if that's a little bit of a relief. You don't have to create a 30-page book. You can create a 1-page PDF file or a 2-page PDF file or something like that. And right now, let's start going over the specific examples of different kinds of lead magnets that you can actually create. I just had to talk a little bit up front about setting that up so that you would be positioned in a way where you can realize that you can do this and we can create it and it can be simple, right? It's not easy. Let's keep it simple, right? If that makes sense. Elton says, what's Chi-Chi? I don't know. Is that Chi-Chi? Do you love me? Oh no, that's Kiki. Drake. Hope Drake's not watching. He won't. He's not. Maybe. He did do a stream with Ninja once on Fortnite. He's a cool guy. Anyway, this is the guidance I was needing. Awesome. Fantastic. Martin, welcome to Team Platinum. All right, let's get to the content, y'all. So let's go over some tier 1 lead magnets. These are easy and effective, right? Easy and effective. Let's start with a resource list. This is probably the easiest one to do. So if you have some knowledge in the space that you're in, Rafal, thanks a lot. July was my best month online so far. Congratulations to you. That's awesome. Cheat sheet. Oh, Chi-Chi. Yeah, you can. We don't want a Chi-Chi because I know different meanings for Chi-Chi. We don't want to have that be the lead magnet unless you're like on a different kind of platform, which we're not going to talk about today. We don't want to share Chi-Chis, all right? We want cheat sheets. Cheat sheets. Cheat sheets. Okay. Okay, a resource list or a list of tools, right? Simply imagine this, a one-page PDF file of the top tools or resources that you've curated in this space. Building a Bassoonist, welcome to Team Flynn Platinum. Imagine that, just a one-page PDF file of a curated list that people just simply have to subscribe to get access to. And it has your top 5, your top 10 resources and tools. Let's say you're a photographer, your top 10 pieces of equipment in your bag. Let's say you're a hiker. It's what's in your daily hiking bag, right? All the things in there. That's something people would want to know, right? And the cool thing is it just can simply be a couple pages of a PDF file with images and a paragraph or two about each individual item. How helpful is that? There's one person who I know who has an opportunity to do this, who I keep harping him on this. His name's Thomas Frank. He has a college packing list. That's in fact a resource list for people who are going to be going to college, or for parents who are helping their kids learn what they need in order to go to college, right? So this packing list becomes something that is extremely valuable, and he does not put it behind a lead magnet or in an opt-in form. He just gives it away, which is okay. I mean, he's focused on his YouTube channel and such, but I still think he should put it behind an opt-in format, or at least the checklist that goes along with it. But a very specific resource list related to something that your target audience wants done. And the cool thing about this is you can also inject affiliate marketing into this as well. I will say, however, please pay attention to this. If you are going to be promoting Amazon affiliate links for these products, you are not allowed to put Amazon affiliate links in ebooks. You're not allowed to put Amazon affiliate links on in your email. It's just against their terms of service, and I don't want you to get banned for that. So what you can do instead is have a link in that ebook or PDF file that goes to a landing page on your website, which is a curated list, the same list, with more information and perhaps videos, demonstrations, other things about that too, if you want to do that. But that's a way to get around the affiliate link fiasco with Amazon and not being able to put it on an ebook. Put it in your web page, and that way you could even say, and there's even more resources there, and it's updated and curated, so you don't have to continually update the ebook, and you don't have to worry about putting the, hey Archer, thanks so much for the super chat, my friend, appreciate you. You don't have to put any disclaimers inside of your ebook. You just simply have a link which displays all of them on your web page too. And that's a way to go around it. Now, why do these resource lists work? Why does just a simple list of tools matter? It's because people love resources. People love tools, right? We love to imagine that, oh, if we just get that tool, things are going to be so much easier or better, or we're going to do things much faster. If I get the same lenses as this person, I'm going to shoot the same kinds of photos. That's it. It's simply a resource list, and this is easy to do because you've likely talked about these things already, right? So put them on a PDF page. And what's really cool is, remember when I said you need to show these things visually? You can pop them next to the email opt-in form and just show like a little thumbnail where you're not going to see exactly what it is. So it's going to drive curiosity. People will want to subscribe to see if they can get access to that, which is really cool. Welcome to Team Flynn Platinum, Fadley, and Team Flynn Gold, Francis. I appreciate you. This is so dope. It's so dope to see all the new emojis coming in. By the way, now that we have a certain number of members, I can unlock new emojis. So members of Team Flynn, look out for a community chat later for me today in the community tab, asking for ideas on different kinds of emojis that we can create together. I wanted to crowdsource a bunch of them for you. So anyway, a list of tools, resources, super easy to do, and pop that in there. It's worth a person's email to not have to scour the internet. You've done that for them, have put all these resources in one place. Easy peasy. All right, that's number one. Again, we're on tier 1, easy but effective lead magnets that we can create, especially for those of you who've been struggling with this. Hopefully this is making you feel a little bit better that you can actually do these instead of creating a 30, 90-page book or something, or some giant course that you can create and have to give away for free, right? These are easy. Number 2, the cheat sheet. Cheat sheet, not chi-chis. Don't want to share your chi-chis. Your cheat sheet. Elton, sorry, I promise I won't make fun of you for that. But that's funny. I can see how I said that though. Cheat sheet. So here's an example of a cheat sheet. The podcast cheat sheet. This is our number 1 most downloaded lead magnet. And it's because it relates to something that I've become very much known for and that I teach. The podcast cheat sheet. As you can see, look, remember I said keep it visual, right? The podcast cheat sheet. Here's a visual of the sort of beginning of it. the essential free checklist for planning and starting your podcast. Now, I call it a cheat sheet. You don't have to call it a cheat sheet. It could be a checklist. It could be a quick start guide, whatever you feel like fits your language and your voice. The podcast cheat sheet. And look, there's a video, right? How long is this video? It's literally 23 seconds. And remember I said showing it visually? Well, here's how I quote unquote sell this. Chip, welcome to Team Flynn Gold, my friend. Appreciate you. See a lot of bruhs in the house.
Bruh.
I was like, every time I see that, I made it red with bruh because I was like, every time I see that, I should just do that. But I think it's going to be way too much. I think it's going to be way too much. Cheryl, welcome to Team Flynn Gold. Appreciate you. April says, I'm never going to hear the words cheat sheet the same way ever again, right? We might have to change this now. Okay, anyway, notice how I'm selling into this, right? This is a landing page that promotes the checklist and cheat sheet. There's also opt-in forms on the website on relevant posts too that promote the same thing. So whether they go to the landing page or not, there's multiple avenues that get people into here, if that makes sense. Can I paste the link to the cheat sheet? Yeah, absolutely. Let me copy and paste this into here for y'all. There, that should be there. So you can download the cheat sheet, right? But let me play this video for you to show you how I sell into this.
Hey, so you're thinking of starting a podcast, but it's overwhelming. I mean, just look at all this stuff. But guess what? It doesn't have to be like that. Because right now you can download my podcast cheat sheet for free, which will walk you through all the steps that you need to get from where you're at now to a podcast that's up and running so that people around the world can listen to you. So if you're ready to get started, click on through and you can get access to the podcast cheat sheet right now. Thanks. Hey, so you're thinking of starting...
So that's it. Super simple. Here's what it's going to do. I said very importantly in the beginning, hey, podcasting, it can be overwhelming. And then I had visuals to sort of represent that overwhelm. Xavier, Beth, welcome to Team Flynn. I appreciate you for being here. Resource list, checklist. Did I miss one in between? Quick start guide. I mean, those are all essentially the same thing, if that makes sense. Cheat sheet, quick start guide, checklist, right? These are all essentially the same thing. Let's keep going down here. How the cheat sheet will help you. So now I'm selling it. Now I'm actually positioning it kind of like it's a product, right? And then I have a little bit about who created it, which is me, in case people arrive here and they don't know who I am. And that's it. So ultimate technical checklist, marketing as you go. And there you go. So that's the cheat sheet. I've promoted a cheat sheet for other people, like David Siteman Garland's Create Awesome Online Courses cheat sheet, and several tens of thousands of people have downloaded that, and that's worked really well too. The reason why people like the cheat sheet language is because, Sue, welcome to Team Flynn Platinum. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys are laughing every time I say cheat sheet now. I'm going to have to enunciate. That's going to be an inside joke for us, right? Every time we mention that in the future, I'm going to be like, cheat sheet, right? Cheat sheet. Okay. Sorry, getting a little silly here today. Had a lot of coffee right before this. And I'm stoked, y'all. So many new members of Team Flynn, which is great. Again, not required. Thank you for your support. Okay. Now, one final quick, easy, and effective way that you can provide a lead magnet would be an FAQ, right? There's a lot of questions in and around a topic or subtopic within your space. An FAQ, frequently asked questions. Hey guys, let me give you my answers to the top 5 most frequently asked questions. And you list out those questions, right? Let me say that again. List out those questions. And what's really cool about this is if you do this well and you get the questions, you nail the questions that people are thinking. This is just such an easy, this is so easy. I'm snapping because it's so easy. It's like, I have that question. I need to know the answer. Let me subscribe to get the answers, right? This positions you really, really well as an authority too, because if you can nail the questions that are in people's heads, oftentimes people are going to already automatically understand that you have a solution of some kind, because if you've nailed the questions and if you can even word the questions better than what they're thinking in their head related to the objections that they might have, that can work out really well too. Right. So let's say, for example, instead of the podcast cheat sheet, Michelle, welcome to Team Flynn Platinum. I appreciate you. What conversion rate do you find on most of your landing pages? We're seeing anything on landing pages specifically, which again, remember, where people are coming from is really important. We're we're seeing anywhere between 60 and 70% conversion rates on our landing pages because we've already sold it, right? Which is really great. And that, in some cases can be even higher, up to 80 or 90%. Now, if we're sending ads to these things, or if it's simply just a link on a homepage or an opt-in form on a homepage, it's going to be much, much less for sure, like into the ones in terms of percentage. Fun will now commence. Welcome to Team Flynn Gold. Thanks so much for being here. Okay, so let me give you an example. On the podcast cheat sheet, let's say, for example, I wanted to do an FAQ. I can position it as the top 5 most important questions you need to answer in your podcasting career, or top 5 questions that newbie podcasters have, right? And a question might be, how might I position this? What equipment do I need when I struggle with the technology? When I struggle with technology, what equipment do I need to make this easy? Right? You see how I'm selling like the fact that this is going to be easy, and I'm selling the fact that I have an answer. I think Jay Abraham said, if you can define the problem better than your target customer, they're going to automatically assume you have the solution, right? So what we're doing is in these FAQs, we're in fact selling the idea that we are the expert by showing the questions that we know people have, right? Another question might be, what if I don't like the sound of my own voice? How will I get people to even find and listen to my show? How do I be a guest on other people's podcasts when I'm just starting out? How do I get my podcast on the most popular directories so I can get a flood of traffic coming to my website for my podcast? You see how I'm just rephrasing a sales page like language, but in the form of an FAQ, if that makes sense. But in the form of an FAQ. So it's just, again, the FAQ, it may not even be the actual frequently asked questions, but it's questions that you could specifically pull out, and you don't even have to call it an FAQ. It could just be like the 5 most, you can position it as 5 most important questions you need to answer related to podcasting, right? And you see how I sort of position it that way. Eileen, thank you, and welcome to Team Gold. That's so dope. Appreciate you, Eileen, y'all. Eileen has been somebody whose name I've seen for years now, and she's crushing it. If you ever want to learn stuff about live streaming, she'd help me out with a lot of Ecamm and Streamlabs stuff. So I want to point you to her direction. Thank you, Eileen. You're awesome. Okay, so we went over some tier 1 examples, right? Resource list, cheat sheet, FAQ, quick start page, quick start guide. If let's say, for example, another one that I've seen really, there's a guy, his name is Joseph Michael. He helps authors use Scrivener, right? And I don't know if he does this, but if I was him and I was looking for a really quick lead magnet, I might offer something like a quick start guide to Scrivener, right? He's known as being sort of a lead on that software, as being representative of that software for authors. So because authors are coming to him because they want to use this tool, imagine just, hey, a quick start guide to do this. When you open up a new package and it's like very technical and it might be a piece of electronic or something like that, what's the first thing we go to? Do we read the giant thick manual, or do we read that fold out quick start guide? We read the quick start guide, right? Because we want things to happen fast. So take advantage of that. Living joyful and well. Welcome to Team Gold. Awesome. Thank you. Martin says, and again, you've just given me another idea. Well, that's why I'm here, but also I want to make sure that we execute on these ideas, or we don't have them be distractions for other things, Martin. So just be careful. By the way, I hope your podcast is doing well. You're on your way to 1 million, which is crazy. Still giggling, Francis. Cheat. Okay. Let's go to tier 2. These are medium type lead magnets we can create. A little bit more difficult, takes a little bit more effort, but they can be more effective as a result. So we got the quick ones out of the way. Let's talk about tier 2. And make sure you stick around to the end, because I'm going to share with you sort of a ninja strategy that a lot of my friends are using, and I've tried it myself, to gain even more subs with even some of the more easier lead magnets too. Excuse me. Peasant Uprising, so much value in the replay. Thank you. 1 million, wow. Yep, he's on his way. He's over 500,000 now, which is cool. Dope. Tarun, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Blab. I remember Eileen from back in the days of Blab. Wow, Blab. That's an old platform. Cool. Not 1 million subs. Did I say 1 million subs? I meant 1 million listens, but still an amazing feat nonetheless. Cool. Pat, can you turn cheat sheet into a course? Yes. In fact, just to give you some perspective, people who download the cheat sheet go into an email sequence that then positions the course promotion within a couple days or a couple weeks, right? So you don't have to do that. You can do this even if you don't have a course yet, just to kind of prime people, get people ready, get them to understand the value that you have to offer. Contempo Coding, welcome to Team Flynn Gold. I appreciate you. Dawn's getting a little into exactly what I'm doing. There's the hook to stay around, right? Great. This is timely, fantastic. So yes, this can definitely lead to a course promotion of some kind. So this cheat sheet right up here gets people to go, whoa, there's value here. But also something that I do in this cheat sheet that I've never really told anybody, so I'm going to tell you, is this cheat sheet also shows people how overwhelming podcasting can be. It is helping to make things look a little bit easier because it's step by step and here's a checklist. But I highlight certain components in that checklist so that people who get this go, oh my gosh, these parts here, I need more information. I need to go a little bit deeper. And so guess what? Here's a course that can help you go a little bit deeper in case you want to get access to that, right? So that's how it works. Okay, 20,000 subs, says Martin. Dude, imagine a stadium, 20,000 people. That's what you got. That's what you got. Jen, welcome to Team Gold. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's move on to tier 2, sort of medium level lead magnets that we can create. I have my post-it note right here because that's what I do. Okay, so what you could do here is you can take videos and have those become something that people unlock once they subscribe. This is a little bit harder because you have to create a video. Jen, you're awesome. Oh, I already called you out, but hey, called you out twice. I love you for that. So we have to understand that we can create videos that people can only get access to if and only if they subscribe. Videos have a much higher perceived value on the online world, which is why a lot of courses include videos, and it's a really quick and easy way to add a little bit more value there. People love seeing you, by the way, and if you happen to offer a course down the road, this becomes sort of a Costco-sized sampling of what you have to offer. I would still position it as a way of something that people can get access to related to, obviously, the thing that they are wanting to do. Maybe it's a mini lesson or a mini course. Perhaps it's a instructional video on how to do something that people are really wanting to do. But just simply the fact that it's video becomes a draw for people. And a lot of people love video because it's a lot easier to create as well. In fact, the way that I would do this is you can either post it onto YouTube as an unlisted video if you want free hosting, right? And then you can just pop it onto a landing page that people who subscribe only get access to after they subscribe. So the way that it works is a person subscribes to get access to this video of yours. Maybe let's say you teach knitting, right? And you want to share with people 3 different stitches that they only can get once they subscribe, right? Your 3 special stitches, whatever those stitches might be. Bruh. See a bro in there. So people subscribe. They get an immediate email from you that says, thank you for subscribing. As promised, here is the instructions for those 3 stitches. Here's a link, and the link goes to a landing page. I wouldn't link directly to an unlisted YouTube video because that seems a little bit cheap. So I would have it be on a landing page or a separate page on your website that simply just embeds that video and the reason why I want it on your website too is because you can include more information on what to do next. You can include links to do other things. You can have people go deeper into your website from there. And that ultimately helps in so many different ways, everything from SEO to having people get more connected to you and everything, right? So they subscribe. In an email they get immediately, there's a link to go to a place back on your website to see that video, to hear your voice. You can even tailor this video specifically for them. Hey, by the way, thank you so much for subscribing. And as promised, I'm going to share with you these 3 stitches. Here is stitch number 1. Just get right into it. Don't do too much selling until after if you indeed have somewhere else that you want people to go. Jonathan, welcome to Team Flynn Platinum. I appreciate you. It's so cool to see these green, at least I'm seeing the green names here as well as the emojis and stuff. That's dope. My Castle Life, wow, that's a great idea with the video unlocking suggestion. You're welcome. So a lot of people do have the video thing, but then they just link to an unlisted YouTube video and it just kind of deflates the situation. We need to make this seem a little bit more pro. If you wanted to go ultimate pro with this, it takes a little bit more setup, but you can host your videos on platforms like Vimeo, or I prefer Wistia, and then you embed that video on that page too. And then of course, think about the next step for them. They're watching this video. Where might you want them to go next? They're now hearing your voice. They're there. They're engaged with you. Might you want them to subscribe to your YouTube channel? Follow you on Instagram. You have the ability to, and this is exactly why we want it on your own page on your website. You've given them some value, small win or something small. You don't want it to be like a 20-minute video. I would say, 10 or less there because it's high value. It almost becomes like an on-demand Netflix type thing where people go, oh, I want that. Sure, I'll subscribe. I get it. I watch it. Then you have permission essentially, or you've earned the ability to go, hey, by the way, make sure you check out the next steps below so that I can further help you. And I would keep it generic like that. I wouldn't necessarily say exactly what those steps are unless you know exactly what you want them to do, because over time those might change. But after watching the video or below the video, again, on a landing page on your website, you can include things like, make sure to follow me here on Instagram. Make sure to join the community on Facebook here. Make sure to check out my other courses and other offerings here. You totally have earned the right to talk about these things. And even if people don't purchase your courses or dive into your services from there, you've let them know about it. It becomes the first of several touch points down the road. Maybe you send them an email a week later that says, hey, remember that course that I was telling you about on the page where you watch those videos? Well, I wanted to give you a special deal or opportunity for that, which is pretty cool. Stacy says, why are some people's names green? That's because they are official members of the YouTube channel now. We opened up membership that unlocks access to certain emojis and certain perks and things like that. So those are our members here, which is pretty cool. But I'm not going to hold anything back, and you can still get everything except the emojis if you just stick around. Dr. Joella, thank you so much for the super chat. That's going to help fight human trafficking this month, which is where we are devoting and diverting all of this money that's coming in from the memberships and from the super chats, which is pretty cool. Cool. Is it too much value to have bad effect in lead magnet? Fadley, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Dr. Joella, thank you so much for that. Is it too much value? Is too much value a bad effect in lead magnet? Well, I don't think you can ever have too much value, but I think you can make things A, too overwhelming, B, too out of reach, and C, too time consuming. I would fight for trying to go quicker, sooner, and up front. And then if you want to change somebody's life, which we often, hopefully all want to do, you have to start by changing their day first. So start small and then you can lead to bigger after that. All right. Question from Maya. What's a good number of resources or items to have on a resource list or checklist? Literally, it's up to you. I would say no more than 10 though. 10 or more, unless it's required, like it's a college packing checklist or something, or all the things in your backpack on a 6-month-long hike, then of course, exhaust that list to whatever list size it needs to be. But it could even legit be one, right? Hey, subscribe because I'm going to give you all the information you need to know about the single most important lens that you have to have as a wedding photographer. It's the most useful, most versatile lens, and I'm going to teach you which one it is, whether you're a Nikon, a Canon, or a Sony user. I have all the different sort of examples of the same kinds of lens for you. Subscribe. I'll give you access and some information about that. It could legit just be one. It's just the one that's most important that most people want, right? Okay. Whew. Let's keep going here. Tier 2. We talked about video. You can give away, and this isn't relevant for everybody, but let's say it's templates or worksheets or something, right? Going back to the knitting example, maybe it's I know that in the knitting space, there's oftentimes these like guides or some like things that you could print out. If you are a marketer, for example, maybe you offer your top 5 email marketing templates. If you are in the space of YouTube, right, you can offer, hey, I have 5 Photoshop files that you can use for your thumbnails, right? And these kinds of like tangible things that people can either print and use, or it really is, something that like a thing that they can actually use. These work really well, right? Because people can go, oh, I can like that actually is something that I could see being sold or actually has value that now I'm just getting for free. So templates, a lot of people who are coders offer certain snippets of code for free, for example. Let's see, if you are, for example, I don't know, you help people with credit card debt or something. Maybe you offer a script that you can then have people call their cable company with to save money on their cable bill. So something like that works really, really well, something tangible in your space. It's not always something that you could find, but in many cases it's there, and actually it's quite easy. You might even have these things in your back pocket already. It might be something that you on your team, you and your team already use, that you can literally just go, hey guys, we wanted to give you access to this. Maybe it's a Google Sheet of the way that you organize your calendar when it comes to parenting or food preparation calendars, or I don't know, whatever it might be, something tangible. My ideas are bubbling up like you're dropping mental Alka-Seltzer in my brain, Pat Flynn. That's awesome. I've never quite heard it put that way, but I like that. Elton says, would an industry case study be a suitable lead magnet for B2B industry? Absolutely. I think B2B, B2C, a case study where you go deeper into a specific, making sure that that case study that you're promoting, Elton, as a lead magnet, directly relates to like you pull out the same words that people are interested in, such that people are drooling. Wow, I want to know how that went or what went down. Study how John Jonas unlocked an extra $13,000 in his annual income by starting a podcast. Let me show you how he did it exactly, from how he started his show to how he monetized it. Right now you go, okay, well, like John Jonas, I want to know how John Jonas did it, right? Cheat. Okay, let's go to another tier 2, a mini course. A mini course can work really well. This has extremely high perceived value, and it could just simply be delivered via email. Let me say that one more time. You can just use your email service provider to deliver this lead magnet. And guess what? People subscribe. Then over a certain number of days, they get instructions to do something, whatever it is that you're teaching. And it's just simply delivered through email, through an autoresponder, meaning you essentially write these emails ahead of time. And every day after a person subscribes, for 3 days, they get instructions on how to do something, right? And then tomorrow, another person subscribes. Well, then now they're going through a 3-day sequence after somebody's already completed it. And it's just, they each have their own timeline, and you can teach something. And if it takes multiple days and you want people to sort of take action, then dispersing this into an email service provider in an autoresponder follow-up sequence can be really key, right? You can do it that way. Or if you wanted to go one step further, you can in fact put a free course onto a place like Teachable. I've done this before. I have something called the Will It Fly Companion Course and the Superfans Companion Course, which has worked really well, but it takes a little bit more time because now you have to put that on another platform. You have to perhaps create videos and other things that go along with that, and it does take a little bit more time. But simply an email mini course. You don't call it an email mini course. Subscribe to my email mini course. You subscribe to the course. You position it as a course. It just so happens to be free, and it just so happens that it's delivered via email, right? So what was the first of tier 2? That was creating the video, a highly perceived something that you then put on a page on your website that people can go only get access to if and only if they subscribe. Video instructions to do something, for example. But this mini course works really well because it's a course. It's positioned as something valuable. It has a very specific outcome for people. That's the trick with courses. It has to have a very specific transformation. If you just sell it as meditation course. Take my meditation course over the next 3 days. It's like nobody wants the meditation course. They want what the meditation course will unlock for them, right? So perhaps instead it's take my 3-day reduce or get time back in your day course, where we're going to be focusing on your calendar as well as your priorities. And at the end of this, you're going to have much more clarity. You're going to have more hours that you can dedicate to other things in your life at the end of this mini. So the end result is what we're selling here in this mini course. And remember, all you have to do is create a landing page or even have people sign up directly on your website. And then legit every day they get an email with more instructions for however many days. I would have it be no more than a week, in fact, because any longer than that, it's like, okay, well, let's get to the result already. So it has to be something smaller, right? A mini course. The mini comes in to what it is that you're offering, not necessarily that it's less value, right? If that makes sense. So the mini course could work really well. This becomes an automated way to provide a lot of value, and it's simply just through your email service provider, which is really cool. And then what you can do is that mini course, let's say, is 3 days. Then on day 4, hey, you got that result now. If you need additional help, here are some blog posts and podcast episodes and videos that you can watch. Or if you want to go deeper now, hire me as a coach, and I'd love to walk you through this personally. Check out my online course. Here it is here, right? And my online courses, or my free mini courses, my Will It Fly companion course, my Superfans course, have both led directly to, because I've had email access to them, plus it's just built into the course itself. The next steps being, come join me in these paid courses, if that makes sense. Question from Fadley says, for online course, which better for lead magnet? First chapter of premium course or new free mini course? Bruh. Both will work. You can legit just show, hey, here's my premium course. And what's cool about that is you are mentioning that you have a premium course up front and there's value tied to that. And then you give away the first lesson for free. That's totally okay to do. It's not like you're giving away the whole thing. And in fact, it's more of a setup than anything, right? The first course or first lesson often is just more about the why and the what. And that can be effective. Or a mini course that gets you a result that would then qualify you to do the next thing, right? So I'll give you an example of that, but I want to move on to tier 3 because these are now things that are going to take a little bit more coordination, but are very, very effective. More coordination, but more effective as well. So the first one I want to talk about is a challenge. And I've run a challenge before, specifically used to build my email list. The challenge being the lead magnet. Hey, on this date, this is why this takes a little bit more coordination, because it happens on a specific date. It's more like an event that you put on. Amy, welcome to Team Flynn Platinum. I appreciate you. Gil says, not related to the topic, but where did you get that sweet Mando helmet? Etsy. That's where I get all my random things. Okay, so a challenge. Challenges are great because they get people to move, because you can position it as, hey, within this number of days, you will have this. And yes, it's very similar to the mini course we just talked about, but because it's live and it's like an event and people will do this together in a community-like fashion, it can often get more results. What's cool about a challenge too is you get a lot of people sort of inviting people in at the same time. Let me talk more about this, because if you go to 100emails.com, you'll actually see this challenge now turned evergreen. And this is what's cool about the challenge and what I'm about to share next as far as a tier 3 lead magnet. These things that are a little bit more effort up front can often turn into evergreen things that will then be very valuable, essentially tier 2 like lead magnets down the road. So they can actually convert from tier 1 to, or tier 3 to tier 2. Tier 3, because again, it takes a little bit more coordination and effort to pull these off in a live setting, but then you can use them again and again and again and again. So let me actually take you to 100emails.com to show you how this is done. 100emails.com is a challenge now positioned as a mini course, essentially. So it kind of converted. So here it says, start the free 72-hour email list building challenge and get step-by-step instructions to help you finally build your list. Remember, I'm talking about the challenge, but I'm talking about the result the challenge will give you. Finally build your list. And again, here's now an objection, even if you don't have a blog or business yet. Because some people go, well, don't I need a blog or business in order to do this? No. And I call it out right up front. A little bit of social proof here. Over 10,000 people have started here. Now it's your turn. Click the button below to begin. Now, again, this is evergreen now. So this actually starts the moment people subscribe. I'm in, let's do this, let's subscribe. They get email number 1 right away. Tomorrow they get email number 2. The day after that, they get email number 3. And then those are instructions to help people get to 100 emails. The way this is a tier 3 was in the way that this was launched. This was a specific date and time in 2017 where I said, yo, this date, we are doing this challenge together. If you've ever struggled with email, and you know you need to build your email list and you've been making excuse after excuse after excuse, on this date, we're gonna do this together. So subscribe so I can send you your first set of instructions on that day. You'll also get access to a live Facebook pop-up group. And I say pop-up group because I set that expectation that it's not going to sort of be there all the time, if that makes sense. EST 111, welcome to Team Flynn Gold. I appreciate you. Marion says, I did the 100 emails challenge, which is really cool. But when this is live, it's a different sort of setting, right? Because people are doing this together. They see each other in the Facebook group. So that takes a little bit of time to manage. and we get people excited. We might share a Facebook Live video in there the night before or leading up to it, and then we share the same information that we send over email over the next 3 days in there as well. People are sharing wins. They're inviting their friends into it. I've seen this happen a lot. In fact, another person who's done this really well is Jen from simplegreensmoothies.com. Her and her ex-partner, Jada, who has since exited this company, have built their entire business on the basis of these challenges, right? Free challenges. Here's a 7-day cleanse, right? You drink these smoothies and man, your body's going to change, which is really cool. Here's the challenge tab up here. Free challenge. You can get access to this right now, which is really cool. What I love about her challenge, which is really cool, is like she puts her best smoothie recipe up front, right? Because a lot of people, they have an objection. Oh, drink green smoothies? That's disgusting. Why would I do that? Well, she puts it up front and people go, oh my gosh, this is unlocking energy for me. It actually tastes good. Okay, I'm in, right? And then they invite their friends in. And that's the cool thing about the event-like structure. You have people sharing their wins, supporting each other, answering questions for each other. And that's really neat. And by the end of this, you have this giant community that's all now connected to each other that you can do some really amazing things with, whether that's sell them into another course or give them a follow-up or, invite them somewhere or what have you. You have their attention, you've gotten them some results, and it could work really, really well. So this 100 emails challenge, again, works really well. Check out this quote-unquote sales page I use, again, for this free thing. There's a video. I'm not going to play it for you, but you'll see. I've reached 100 emails. Better late than never. Finally got my 101 subscribers. Again, proof that this thing actually works, and then a little bit about me too. Not a lot here on this landing page, but enough. Proof. And again, it's so clear what people get after these 3 days, if that makes sense. It's so clear. So that's key. And again, after the live event, which generates, I think the first time we did this, we generated over 14,000 new email subscribers, which was amazing. And several of them getting results. And even if people don't get to 100, they're still getting further than they did before. And now imagine, all right, now that you have these emails, great, you need to put them somewhere. Yo, Selin, thank you so much for joining Team Flynn Platinum. You're amazing. Very cool. Miss Boyce is asking, hey, when's the appropriate time to ask questions? You can ask questions during, and I may or may not get to it, but there is a Q&A every Sunday that we do. In fact, if you want to come in and I can answer specific questions for you, if that makes sense. But yeah, welcome, new members. Awesome. This is so cool. A couple important things if you're going to do a challenge. Number one, you need to make it graspable. If it was 0 to 1,000 emails, that's not going to work because people can't imagine themselves doing that. 0 to 100 was very specific because that's achievable, but still a little bit of a challenge, right? So that's really important. Number two, have a specific number of days that people know this is going to go on. Less than a week is the best scenario. If you can do it in 24 hours or 48 hours, that's even better because you can get people to a result shorter and it's not as much of a commitment, but you're helping people get that small win so they can go deeper into your business. And all along the way, guess what? You're building your email list too, which is really cool. So achievable, measurable in terms of days, and then make sure, really important, you don't ask people to pay for anything in order to get this result. So you might think that in this, I'm asking people to subscribe to ConvertKit or something, right? But that's not true. In fact, that's step 2. Step 1 is just you collect these email lists manually, you put them in a spreadsheet, and then after they get these results, after they see line 100 in their spreadsheet, now they're like, guess what? Oh my gosh, I have all these emails. What do I do with them? Oh, well, I recommend step 2, you get an email service provider. So don't, and of course, that's an affiliate link. So you can generate income even doing this too. You could double dip essentially. You're collecting emails, and step 2 of the challenge or the next steps are this affiliate thing or perhaps a product that you might have or a service or an offering of some kind, which is pretty cool. But make sure that during the challenge, it is indeed free to do. If you ask people to pay for something in order to get access to the results that you're promising, it's over, right? So it has to be free, if that makes sense. It has to be free. Okay. Sounds like you almost treat it like a SMART goal. Yes, indeed. Measurable, achievable, whatever those SMART acronym is like. I forget what the SMART acronym is. Sunday, ask Pat anything with chill music. Indeed, indeed. And then the final tier 3 is a webinar where you actually are live teaching people, right? You can use a tool like Demio or even set up your own registration page using Zoom or something like that, where people then on a specific date, again, they get access to you. They are even able to interact with you and ask questions live, but you're teaching something, right? And what you're teaching for free. And that webinar, again, is a lot more effort up front, but it's highly valuable. And that's something that you can get the replay for, that you can then use again and again and again as your on-demand video, like we talked about in Tier 2. But the webinar becomes really cool because even if for people watching later, just like the people watching the replay here, that live component on top of it positions you more as an authority. And that's what I love about these Tier 3 situations is you really start showing off how much you know or what you are teaching. Even if you're not great on video, it does a lot for you, which is really cool. But because it's video and because it's live, or the challenge, which maybe there's not a video component to it, but it does require you to sort of interact and set things up front. It does take a little bit more effort, but they can definitely garner a lot bigger results too. So, woo! Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely. Thank you. Bernard says, I got into the habit of avoiding webinars. Too much sales by most webinar hosts, which is why you don't do any selling on this webinar. You can even position it as such. A no-pitch training to help you XYZ, right? And that way people go, oh, no pitch? Okay, cool. And this becomes then something that becomes a lead magnet that you could share, or it becomes a really nice surprise email in the middle of an existing sequence. Hey, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but I conducted this free live training, and here it is here. Since you're already a subscriber, here's the link to the page. I won't ask you for anything else except just to enjoy and watch. Cool. All right. Yo, chat, we did awesome today. Thank you. Kat says, how to prepare about the webinar talk and record it for future use when people are asking questions. This is great, Kat. We are going to have a lot more information about webinars, and I'm going to be asking the members. This is something that I'm going to be doing with the members and members alone, is I will be asking you in our community tab what you would like the upcoming income streams to be about. This was, in fact, inspired by, I think it was K-Walk or somebody else who was here who needed some help with lead magnets. And when there's one person who needs help with something, I know there's a lot more. And having the members be a little bit more active, and likely those who are a little bit more involved, I'd love for them to offer and express some ideas on what we could do together to make the income stream even better and more relevant for everybody. And if you're not a member, don't worry, you're still going to be able to get access. I'm never going to make this income stream member chat only. You'll all have access, and I'm going to continue to keep it going. But yeah. Hope you had a great day, everybody, and I hope this was helpful and of service to you. If it was, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and please consider being a member if you aren't already, because I'd love to give you some stuff back as a result of being here, and you get access to a bunch of things like emojis, but also there's going to be some member-only video and things that come out, and member-only community where we'll be able to connect and such, and over time I'm going to insert some more perks for you as well. But hey, Team Flynn, you're amazing. Thanks so much for being here. You're amazing, and have a great week. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. More on that topic. You have to come in to check it out. patflynn.com/theincomestream. You'll see that being promoted a little bit later, and there will be a waiting room so you can come in early tomorrow, connect with your fellow mates here, and I look forward to continuing to serve you. So thanks so much, Team Flynn. You're awesome. As always, Team Flynn for the win. Happy Monday. Stay safe. Stay well.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Thanks for all the kind words and comments about today's content. Thank you to those who have inspired this topic, because it seems to be resonating with a lot of people. And remember, we talked about a lot. Just focus on that next one thing. Maybe it's the simple tier 1 strategy. Just make it simple, right? And then let's grow and go from there. Peace out, y'all. Love you. Team Flynn for the win.
Bruh.